morning, students. Today we will be learning the correct way to answer an essay question. In many of the unit tests and quizzes for this class, you are asked to answer short essay questions based on your readings. These questions are meant to be answered with a one-paragraph essay answer. Today we will be covering how to formulate that essay answer using an easy-to-remember method, the RICE method. First, let's talk about what RICE stands for. RICE stands for restate, identify, connect, and explain. Each of the letters in the word RICE represents one sentence in a paragraph.
That means that in the 4 letters of RICE, there will be at least 4 sentences in your essay answer.
Yes. Now, let's look a little closer at the formula that we will be using to create our essay answers. Let's start with the R, which stands for restate. Restate means to rewrite the question in sentence form.
You want to restate or rewrite what the question is asking you to do.
Yes, we will look at an example shortly. Next, we're going to look at the I, which stands for identify. This means to identify the answer to the question in a full sentence.
This is a specific answer to the question that is being asked of you. Then we have the letter C, which stands for connect.
Yes, connect means to select a detail or piece of evidence from the text or passage that supports your idea. You want to draw a connection between what your answer is, the letter I, and what you see in the text or the passage. This is the hardest part of the formula because it requires you to make a personal or textual connection. For example, imagine that you are asked to make a connection with how the character or actor feels or acts.
Finally, the last letter is E.
The E stands for explain, which is where you will write one sentence explaining the reasoning beyond your answer. Now, let's read an example. Let's read an excerpt from I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings and answer a question about it. Here is the excerpt. Occasionally, Mrs. Flowers would drift off to the road and down to the store, and Mama would say to me, "Sister, you go on and play." As I left, I would hear the beginning of an intimate conversation. They talked, and from the side of the building where I waited the ground to open up and swallow me, I heard the soft voice of Mrs. Flowers and the textured voice of my grandmother merging and melting. Now, the question that you're going to be asked to answer is to write a well-developed paragraph in which you draw a connection between your own life and this passage. Be sure to use specific details from the passage to support your answers. Okay, so now we know what question we're supposed to be answering. We know how to complete the RICE method. So let's look at a sample answer. Remember, this is about your own personal connection. So it's okay if your answer looks different from another one.
Restate. I can relate to what the narrator's saying about being asked to go play. Identify. When my sister and I were really little, my parents always told us to go outside and play when they wanted to have a grown-up conversation. Connect. The narrator's mother told her, "You go and play," just like my mother would tell me to go outside and play. Explain. I can connect to this passage because I have experienced the same thing as the author.
As you can see, this question was answered by restating, identifying, connecting, and explaining. We will continue to study this method throughout the semester and will practice this skill again before our next test. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you all in our lesson tomorrow. Have a great day.